Black Mask and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about top 5 reasons why the crucifixion of Jesus is historically true. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more videos. Reason 1. Multiple independent and ancient sources confirm it. Roman historian Tacitus and Jewish historian Josephus both mention Jesus' crucifixion. This is important because neither of them were Christians, giving them more reliability and credibility when it comes to the crucifixion of Jesus. In Tacitus' writings, he records that Jesus was executed under Pontius Pilate during the reign of Emperor Tiberius. Tacitus' writings is important because this man showed hostility towards Christians, making it less likely for him to write about something that wasn't true or came from just Christian sources. In fact, most historians believe that he relied on Roman records and widely known information instead of Christian sources. As for Josephus, he was a Jewish historian and aristocrat. He lived not too long after Jesus' crucifixion, and he was well positioned in Judea to get information. This is important information too because just like Tacitus, Josephus wasn't a Christian, giving him a non-biased view of things per se. Reason 2, many historians agree that Jesus was crucified. One of the strongest reasons why historians accept the crucifixion of Jesus is the widely scholarly agreement on it. Historians like these on the screen all accept that Jesus was crucified. These historians are important because they're all unbiased, because they're all not Christians. Although many of these scholars disagree with Christian beliefs, they all agree that the crucifixion of Jesus is an established historic event that happened in Jesus' life. Reason 3, the crucifixion fits Roman history. Crucifixion was a common Roman method, especially for people who were accused of rebellion or accused of threatening Roman authority. Jesus was seen as the king of the Jews, which could have been seen as a political threat to the Romans, making the crucifixion of Jesus a reasonable punishment historically. The Gospel accounts also accurately describe Roman practices, which fits what historians know about 1st century Judea. Reason 4, the criterion of embarrassment. The idea is that people usually wouldn't make up stories that would make themselves or their leader look weak or shameful. In the 1st century, crucifixion was one of the most humiliating and disgraceful ways of being executed. If early Christians had invented the story about Jesus, it would have made more sense for them to portray Jesus as a victorious king rather than someone who was publicly executed. Instead, early Christians boldly proclaimed that the Messiah was crucified, even though Jews and Gentiles rejected this message. The fact that early Christians were willing to face persecution and even the penalty of death for proclaiming a crucified Messiah just goes to show you that this is something that really did happen. The last reason is the earliest Christian beliefs were centered around the crucifixion. One of the earliest Christian creeds is preserved in 1 Corinthians 15:3-5, where Paul writes that Christ died, was buried, and rose again. Most scholars date the creed within just a few years after Jesus' death. This shows that the earliest Christians' beliefs were that Jesus was crucified, was buried, and was risen from the grave, and that this wasn't a later invention or an add-on to Christianity, but something that existed within Christianity since the beginning of the faith. Since Christian beliefs are so early, historians view this as something that was a part of Christian beliefs since the beginning of the faith. That's all I have for you today. I hope this video has blessed you in some way, and make sure, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe if you want me to make more videos, and God bless you. Bye!